Welcome back, and in this video what we're going to be doing is we're talking about Trusk, the last of the units that are on the banner that will be probably ending by the time you see this video. But if you did pull him, congratulations, you have a tank. The downside about Trusk is he is pretty much just a tank. He does do counterattack, he does do some decent damage, considering his damage scales off of his HP or his defense. And he does have a chance of dealing a bunch of AoE damage to up to 3 enemies in range. So, you know, that is good, but it's one of those things that he does the job of most tanks. Now, one thing I did notice about him that made me laugh is everybody is like, "Up, it's Uncle Godzilla." It's he looks like Godzilla, right? Well, in his story, the first line here is "Bring more spears and the catapult." There's a giant lizard blocking the path. So, yeah. He's just Godzilla. He's a tanky Godzilla, lightning Godzilla. So his A1 deals magic damage to one enemy, goes up to 120%. So solid. His ultimate grants a defense increase for up to 3 adjacent allies. And that defense increase is 20%, so solid, and channels to deal AoE damage to every 2 seconds to 5 enemies in range. Additionally, if directly hit by enemies, the hero will trigger a counterattack to deal 300% damage one time. Alright, cool. So he does do a counterattack and does really good damage with that counterattack, but that seems to be only one enemy. So, his passive 1, when the ultimate is triggered, the hero pulls one unblocked target and adjacent tiles towards himself. Defense increases by 10% and block by 1 until the ultimate ends. Additionally, ranged enemies will prioritize targeting the hero during this time. Okay, so he's got pretty much provoke, which is solid. And then his passive 2, with each ultimate casts increased damage defense by 10% permanently, stacking 2 times. That could go up to 4 times, so up to 40% more defense. Oh, plus another 5%. So let's see, 15 times 4 is 90? 90%? No, that's not 90. 30, that's 60. 60% extra defense, which solid enough, and then increases block by 1 on max stacks, so that's cool. That would bring him up to a 4 block, and then with Bastion Ring, I think it is, that put him at 5, so solid amount of block. His passive is all damage dealt scales off defense. Each basic attack launched has a chance of triggering AoE damage to up to 3 enemies, knocking them up into the air. Additionally, when HP is below 50%, restores 5% HP for every 4 instances of damage taken. Alright, cool. Let's have a look at his awakenings. Okay, when he's below 50%, reduces damage taken by 30% for 5 seconds. Can be triggered 1 time every 40 seconds. Okay, solid. Defense plus 200. Okay. Deals 20% extra damage to enemies blocked by himself. I could see that being handy, but yeah. All damage reduction. Cool. And when receiving fatal damage for the first time, restores 30% max HP immediately. Alright, so an unyielding. So, all in all, he is pretty solid. I, unfortunately, do not have him. He is one of the few legendaries I don't have. few regular cool legendaries I don't have. He would be cool to get, but I'm also not really looking to get him. Places he could be used. He could be used in Gear Raid 2, I'm sure. Tanks are solid there. Gear Raid 3. I could see use for him there. Only because of the provoke that he does. He could kind of provoke the air units into attacking him. So that's solid. I have seen some stuff with people doing Gear Raid 1 with him as a main damage dealer. So that's cool. I obviously haven't done it. I don't have him. But I also imagine that that's just very difficult to make work. The gear dungeons, I could see him being useful in them as a tank, but not as a damage dealer. Maybe as a tank that kind of backs up a little bit with some damage, but that's about it. Let's see. Titanic Ruins, I suppose he could be in here to take the big hit from the boss when the boss prioritizes the highest HP unit. But that's about all I could see used out of that. And then Esoterra's Trial, obviously he'd be good for. There's very few tanks. I don't think there's any tanks worth building other than him in the Esoterra's. Let's see. Esoterra's. That's not Esoterra. There we go. Alright, so I stand corrected. Cyrus. He's one of the top tanks. Trusk, and no more legendary. And this guy, Ardith, who I have not even built up on my free-to-play account. So yeah, he could provide some support in faction trials for sure. And resource raid, sure, he's a tank that can do some damage. That's solid. Mortal Codex, he's good for the tank codex, as any good tank is. I'm sure he builds pretty decent BP, so he'd probably be decent for Tide. I would be amazed if anybody could find any use for him in Drake's Chasm, but I mean, stranger things have happened. AMR, he could be the tank role, but apart from that, there's some fighters. I use Abomination in the tank role, so yeah, he's good, but I don't think he's worth pulling for. Not on this banner, especially since we have a lot of good banners coming up, including this one here, the Lust Arrogance banner. That's probably the one that a lot of people will pull. I will pull at least the one guaranteed Lust. I don't think I'll go any farther than that. If I get another Arrogance, cool. That'd put him at A2, but apart from that, I'm just gonna pull the one extra Lust, because A1 solid. I would like to get her to A3 or even A5, but I'm not in a position to be able to do that. I have 27k diamonds and 121 summons. So, yeah, I just got off on a tangent about other units on reviewing Trusk. That tells a lot about him. He's cool looking. Oh, and his skin. His skin does make him look even cooler. Let's see. Can I show the skin in here? Yeah. So this is a pretty cool looking skin. I can't argue that. I don't know what the animations are, but I imagine they're pretty cool. But that's the same with Salazar's skin. When I first saw it in like a still, I was like, that's not great. But then I saw it in movement, and I think that looks pretty badass. And he's still got his dagger on his hip, and you know, his axe, which I didn't know he had an axe, but definitely has one there. He grew his hair out a bit. But I don't think Trusk has animation. No, he doesn't. But yeah, if you got Trust, he's not bad. If you already have tanks built, then he may not serve a purpose for you. But that shouldn't discourage you from from building him up if you have the spare material. If you need a tank and he's one of your few options, definitely build him up. He's a solid option. So I would like to show you him in action, but like I said, I don't have him, so I can't really. I don't have any access to the test server, and I don't think anybody's account that I have access to has him. So that will pretty much do it for this video. Let me know if you pulled Trusk and if you are using him anywhere. I will see you guys in the next one, and if this helped at all, definitely feel free to give it a like. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.